There are a few things that can absolutely shatter a narcissist from the inside out, and most people have no idea just how badly they can sting. Welcome back, and thank you for clicking on this video. Today, we are diving into a question that comes up over and over again in the comments. Can a narcissist actually shed real tears? Can a narcissist actually feel hurt like the rest of us? The honest answer is yes. Narcissists definitely feel emotions, even though they love to put on the victim mask or behave like the whole world has done them wrong. That very same sensitivity that lets them play the victim so well is also the thing that makes them surprisingly easy to wound. A narcissist's ego is fragile, and honestly, almost anything can leave a bruise on it. Some things just scare them a little. Other things do serious damage to the way they see themselves. And if the hit comes from someone the narcissist actually admires or looks up to, it can be absolutely devastating. Nothing wounds a narcissist more than a direct challenge to their pride or to their need for control. It does not matter if that challenge happens in a crowded room or in a quiet corner somewhere private. The sting is exactly the same. Put simply, narcissists build their own misery from scratch. They build it through lying. They build it through pretending to be something they are not. And they build it through deep, bone-level insecurity. None of this would matter much to anyone else except that narcissists genuinely believe they are untouchable. The moment they sense a challenge, they immediately want payback. In their mind, everyone else should be the one carrying the weight of their pain, never them. I have also noticed something lately. Narcissism is being talked about more and more as a real mental health concern, and that is a good thing. What narcissists actually need from the people around them is compassion, patience, and steady boundaries. Right now, the narcissist in your life is probably behaving in the most hypocritical way possible, saying one thing while doing the exact opposite and counting on your kindness to hand them yet another chance. And that is exactly why they stay so open to being hurt. So let us not waste any more time. Here are 3 sure ways that real people end up hurting a narcissist's feelings in ways they never forget. The very first one is being pushed aside and left out. Narcissists simply cannot handle being told the honest truth about their flaws. Even small, gentle criticism cuts deep because their skin is paper thin. They are terrified of being left alone because they survive entirely on constant praise and attention from the people around them. A narcissist truly cannot function without others feeding their ego on a daily basis. And here is the harder part of all this. Once you get pulled into their orbit, it becomes incredibly difficult to break free and walk away. These days, narcissists have an easier time than ever in history, thanks to social media and instant messaging. They have built a kind of online fantasy world where they get endless praise without ever having to be physically present with anyone. This lets them keep relationships going that would fall apart for most other people without real face-to-face contact. A narcissist can absolutely live off a steady stream of likes, comments, and compliments online. For now, that is more than enough to keep their shallow fantasies and twisted needs alive and breathing. The second thing a narcissist fears more than almost anything else is being exposed. I have already covered this topic in an earlier video, so I will not go over every detail again here. But it is a well-known fact that narcissists care an enormous amount about their public image. They will tell lie after lie after lie to protect that image. Their entire life becomes one long performance meant to convince the people around them that they are more successful, more interesting, and more impressive than they really are deep down. So when that carefully built image starts to crack right in front of other people, the pain has to feel almost unbearable. Watching their whole fake world crumble in real time is one of the worst things that can possibly happen to a narcissist. The third and final thing that truly gets under a narcissist's skin is being insulted. Here is the twist that most people never see coming. Narcissists are actually very aware of how their words land on other people. They know exactly what they are doing when they use dishonest and manipulative language to hurt someone on purpose. But turn that dynamic around on them, and a narcissist cannot handle even honest, fair criticism aimed straight at them. Being completely truthful with a narcissist is almost treated like a crime in their eyes. This happens all the time. Any criticism of the polished image they have built gets taken as a direct personal attack. You will start to notice that narcissists are especially sensitive to insults because deep down, underneath it all, they are already insecure and quietly anxious. Unfortunately, they always have some flaw hiding just beneath the surface, and that is simply the sad truth. things do not look good for them once their real self finally gets pulled into the light. They often struggle to understand even the most basic ideas about themselves and about their own behavior. So in the end, these are the three things that are most likely to truly knock a narcissist off balance in a powerful way. Once you look closely enough, their weaknesses become painfully obvious. They are sneaky. They manipulate the people around them. And underneath all of that polished charm, they are scared and quietly insecure. That is really everything I wanted to share on that part for today, so I will wrap things up there. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your week ahead, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen. Now let us move on to talk about the very best way to truly get back at a narcissist who is still hanging around in your life. Nothing makes a narcissist more jealous and more envious than watching you walk away and build a genuinely happy life without them in it. And that is honestly the worst thing you can ever do to them, because it fills them with envy they cannot escape. Narcissists cannot find real happiness on their own. Even the ones who are financially successful or accomplished in their careers never actually feel satisfied inside, because nothing is ever quite enough to fill their constant, never-ending need for attention and praise. Narcissists get a strange kind of twisted satisfaction from watching other people suffer. Seeing someone else feel sad or broken makes them feel a little less alone in their own emptiness, even if it is just for a brief moment. Keep this in mind. Narcissists try to make life difficult for absolutely everyone around them, and the old saying that misery loves company describes them perfectly. But remember this above everything else. Your own mental and emotional health matters far more than anything a narcissist thinks or does. And narcissists can sense it right away when you are hurting inside. They can also tell when you are still holding on to resentment or still open to forgiving them in some way, because that is exactly what makes you an easy target to pull right back in. So keep your distance from the narcissist in your life and from the people who always seem to support them, the ones sometimes called flying monkeys, because they will do absolutely everything they can to keep you feeling small and stuck in place. If you want to truly protect yourself from a narcissist, the single healthiest step you can take is to stop engaging with them entirely and to stop engaging with the people who back them up. Keeping them around in any way, even just a little, only slows down your own healing process. Of course, how long that healing actually takes depends heavily on how much damage was done in the first place. If you do have to interact with a narcissist despite trying your best to avoid it, staying emotionally steady is the absolute key to survival in those moments. One helpful approach many people swear by is to treat them as if they are completely invisible and simply walk past them without reacting at all. The most powerful thing you can do in those moments is stay quiet and keep your own inner peace completely intact, because narcissists genuinely struggle to understand a person who flat out refuses to engage with their drama. Narcissists often go looking for their old victims just to bring up old arguments again and again and again, like a broken record. They fully expect that life without them has been hard for you, and they actively want to see you struggling, because that makes them feel powerful in some twisted way. Once a narcissist finally realizes that you are no longer interested in their back-and-forth games, they immediately lose that sense of control they were holding over you. They actually enjoy watching you spiral into anger, resentment, and a desperate need for revenge, because all of that keeps you stuck exactly where they can find you. And staying stuck in those heavy feelings of helplessness only keeps you trapped in the same painful situation for much longer than necessary. At the same time, if you carry a negative outlook on life, you may end up attracting even more negativity right back into it. If you want to truly change your life after going through narcissistic abuse, you need to be willing to shift the way you think, the way you feel, and how you grow as a person from the ground up. Always try to stay brave in every single part of your journey forward, no matter how steep the road gets. When narcissists see someone they once hurt doing genuinely well in life, it can actually trigger real feelings of sadness or jealousy in them. Even if they act happy for you on the outside, deep down inside, they may still quietly resent you for how much damage their own actions caused to the relationship in the first place. If you manage to keep your inner light burning bright despite everything they put you through, it tends to make them even more frustrated and even more hostile toward you. It becomes incredibly hard for them to accept that you have moved forward and built a genuinely better life for yourself without them in the picture. Choosing to treat a narcissist as if they simply do not matter to you anymore is one of the fastest ways to upset them at their core. It likely causes them real, genuine emotional distress, even if they never show it openly to anyone. Around this time, you may notice the narcissist quietly starting to circle back, testing the waters, looking for any small way to slip back into your life. Getting close to a narcissist a second time can be extremely risky. So unless they genuinely apologize from the heart and admit they were wrong for how they treated you, it is best to keep that door firmly closed and ignore any sneaky attempts they make. Sometimes they will try a romantic gesture or a sudden sweet moment to win you back and make you doubt your decision to walk away, only to return to the exact same harmful patterns the moment you let your guard down again. If you know a former narcissist is quietly watching your progress from a distance, it is best to keep your distance completely from them. Your worth as a human being does not depend on whether they ever recognize it out loud. Your success and your growth becomes a real source of jealousy for them because it quietly reminds them of their own shortcomings and the simple fact that they will never truly match your depth, your quality, or your emotional growth in this lifetime. Thriving despite everything you went through with a narcissist is the greatest form of payback there is. So protect your inner calm and your inner light with everything you have, and do not let anyone in this world take that away from you. I hope everything I shared today helps in some real way. I wish you a peaceful and good week ahead, and I will absolutely see you again in the next video. Now let us move on to the 9 big signs that suggest a narcissist actually still likes you and wants you back in their life one more time. One really important behavior to understand here is something called hoovering. And stick with me here because this part is where most people start missing the warning signs. This is a form of emotional manipulation that a narcissist uses when they sense they are slowly losing their grip and their control over you. The term hoovering actually comes from the idea of sucking something back in quickly and forcefully, almost like a vacuum cleaner. It is simply another tactic to pull you back into the cycle of abuse so they can keep using you for their own selfish needs. From their self-centered point of view, the story is always the exact same. They will tell themselves and everyone else that you were the one who ended things with them because they stopped caring about you the moment the honeymoon phase ended. It is a very common pattern that plays out over and over again, a great first impression followed by behavior that slowly turns unpleasant over time. So how do you actually recognize the signs that a narcissist is slowly, quietly draining your energy? Stick with this video all the way until the end because I am going to walk you through 9 very clear signals that show a narcissist is actively exploiting you. The very first sign is that narcissists act as if nothing has ever changed between the two of you. A narcissist may try to win back a former victim by suddenly reaching out again out of nowhere, sometimes after months of silence. Any message that feels overly sweet, overly nostalgic, or simply too kind to be genuine deserves a much closer, more careful look. Instead of wasting your energy trying to figure out what they really want this time, pay close attention to the actual pattern itself. They will often talk to you as if everything is perfectly normal and encourage you to just casually move past whatever painful thing happened last time. This might look like a funny text message out of the blue or a phone call just to casually check in on your day. Former partners of narcissists have described being approached at work with lines like, "I really miss the old days when you used to walk me to my car or bring me coffee in the morning," or something along those exact lines. Another very common example is an unexpected bouquet of flowers showing up at your door out of nowhere. Narcissists almost never take real responsibility for their actions or make a genuine effort to actually fix what they broke. And that is honestly one of the defining traits of the disorder itself. Instead, they simply choose to act like nothing bad ever happened in the first place. This entire performance is really just a way to keep their image perfectly intact for the people watching them on social media. At the exact same time, they are also trying to convince you that the relationship never really ended at all. The second sign is that narcissists are famous for apologizing without ever truly meaning a single word of it. Remember what I said earlier, narcissists rarely change in any lasting way at all. So before you even consider forgiving them or giving them another chance, really think it through carefully and ask yourself if their apology genuinely feels honest to you. There is often a quiet thread of dishonesty running right through this kind of hoovering behavior. It is subtle, but it is very, very effective at pulling people back in. If you want to test their sincerity in a simple way, try gently pushing back or changing the subject entirely. If they react with anger or defensiveness, that is a very strong sign their apology was never real to begin with. Narcissists are deeply self-focused people who put their own wants ahead of everyone else's needs, and they will absolutely keep using these same tactics for as long as they keep working on you. So be cautious of people who fake remorse because there is usually something specific they want to gain from it. That fake apology is just another manipulation tool in their toolbox. A real, honest apology usually leads to a real, visible change in someone's future behavior, so try not to overthink your choices right now. You are absolutely allowed to make your own decisions and trust your gut. The third sign is that narcissists will promise you eternal love and total, unwavering devotion. Love bombing is one of their absolute favorite weapons in the manipulation toolbox. They will express deep affection and share their feelings in a way that feels incredibly intense and overwhelming. For a narcissist, bringing up old memories is a key strategy for winning your love back. They tend to exaggerate how meaningful those memories actually were, using their own inflated self-image to make the moment feel far bigger than it ever really was. They might say things like, "I could never find anyone better than you out there," or "No one else in this world makes me feel the way you do." Big, dramatic, emotional gestures might make you feel more at ease around them at first, but every single time they express this so-called love, what they are really wanting is for you to give in and come back to them. Even after everything that happened last time, these false claims of love just keep rolling in, one after another. If you are currently in a relationship with an active narcissist, they will use the word love as an emotional tool to keep you from ever leaving for good. The fourth sign involves narcissists making big promises they have absolutely no intention of keeping. It is all part of that same love bombing strategy we just talked about. They will try to reassure you with big sweeping statements about the future. They might casually talk about marriage, offer to buy you a brand new car, or suggest taking a big, expensive trip together somewhere romantic. The honest truth is, there is almost no chance they will actually follow through on any of it once the moment has passed. Narcissists are really only looking out for themselves in the end, which is exactly why their words simply cannot be trusted in any situation. None of this is your fault at all, and you should not blame yourself for how you have felt or how you have reacted to any of their manipulations over time. Those big promises were never really about you in the first place. Keep that important fact in mind. Everything a narcissist does is ultimately meant to deepen your reliance on them for as long as humanly possible. The fifth sign shows up when a narcissist cannot reach you directly through your own channels, so they turn to other people around you instead. A narcissist will go to great lengths just to pull you back into their world. One very common method is staying physically close to your family, checking in with your parents often, and telling them how much they truly appreciate you as a person. They may also use your own children to brag to other people about how absolutely wonderful you are and how much they claim to miss you every single day. Watch out very carefully for this hoovering tactic where they try to get closer to your personal life by reaching out through people you already trust the most. They might even send loving messages through these middlemen on your behalf. This pattern usually happens simply because you have stopped responding to them directly, so they have to find another way in. The sixth sign is when a narcissist tries to win your sympathy by playing the victim in a really obvious way. People who lean heavily toward narcissism often have a real flair for the dramatic side of life. They can spend a lot of time feeling sorry for themselves, and they are genuinely very good at inventing fake emergencies or fake crises just to pull your attention right back toward them. It is not unusual at all for them to exaggerate or even completely make up a family tragedy like a sudden death just to gain your sympathy in the moment. Their intense emotional displays usually come from their constant, never-ending need for attention and admiration from everyone around them. As much as their focus seems to be on you specifically, they also crave being the absolute center of attention in general. Most of the time, this tactic is simply a method to grab your attention by ramping up how alarmed or how worried you suddenly feel about them. Spreading false information and harmful rumors is something narcissists are especially skilled at doing without getting caught, which leads us directly to the seventh sign. This kind of quiet manipulation may eventually be used as a longer-term weapon against someone the narcissist wants to chip away at, and understanding this part is what separates the people who recover quickly from the people who stay stuck for years.